opportunity, but at the same time, as soon as it was given, it was so quick to capitalize.
Yeah, fantastic stuff coming out from Diabolus, and unfortunately the Karthus pick not working out in the end for Monkeys. I was excited for it, but towards the later stages of the game, they just couldn't really find the fight.
You know what's the worst feeling? That game ended with Fastleg level 12. He was one level away from handing out all the goodies, and that's sad.
But the problem is as well is you need to have hit level 13 and then there be a period of time afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Because you need to get value out. It's not just like you grab the item and you just win the game. You need to have time to get value out of the item.
You know what gives you tons of experience? Baron. But instead, they decided to just
That's a low blow. That was a low blow.
It was, but...
All right, time to jump into Champ Select now for game number 2. Barrage looking to even things up in this series. Yuumi going to be the first ban of this draft. And I'm curious to see how Barrage take this one when it comes to Fury specifically. They banned away the Cassiopeia, they banned away the Pantheon from him last time, went on the Syndra and still worked wonders.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it shows he's got a diverse champion pool. He's not limited to a couple of picks here and there, so I have confidence in him, and he's actually going to ban away the Syndra himself, so not wanting to give that over to Barrage as a first pick, because he knows the power of it when it was in his hands. He respects the other side in a similar way.
Certainly does. We'll see as the Syndra is actually going to be taken off the board by the likes of Diabolus. That is what they first picked when they were on the blue side, so deciding that is valuable enough to just take off the board completely. And now Barrage have to answer with their second ban of this draft, and it is going to be that respect ban of the Cassiopeia against Fury again.
Yeah, understandable. I mean, you don't want to give that over to him because he showed he had so much presence on it. My question is going to be, what are Barrage going to change it for themselves? I mean, obviously... It's pretty standard. They're going to ban away these power picks from Diabolus that they'd love to play. But what are they going to change that is going to make this game better? Because clearly, the early game wasn't an issue. And they had skill in the composition. It was just some of these decisions later on. Do you want to give something where Monkeys can have more agency, more survivability, not just to press R button? Or are we going to give something to Fastleg where, like the Blitzcrank, where he can go aggressive and not just sort of play passive until he throws those ults down, which honestly didn't do that much?
Akali taken off the board as well, so D.Va being hard focused in this draft. When you look at those champions, that is everything that D.Va has played during Forge Champions so far, and now first pick Kayle coming out.
Barrage, they are saying, look, we can go late, but for real this time.
Yeah, you thought that was a late game comp? Let me show you a late game comp. It is going to be answered though by the Xayah. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Rakan locked in here as well. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to be locked in here by Diabolus.
It's a common thing for Diabolus playing the bot lane. We talked about the Cassiopeia mid, but typically Diabolus, they were playing things... I mean, Kakan had the most variation, but it was Gragas, Cassiopeia, Zyrakan bot lane. Barrage answered very quickly with what a lot of people have seen in this meta as the answer to Zyrakan, which is Kai'Sa, Nautilus. Great synergy with the passive. A little weaker in the early levels, but scales really well. Diabolus currently toying with an option to go toe-to-toe with the Kayle in terms of scaling. Ryze actually risen up quite a bit in priority.
And does incredibly well in the 1v1 as well, especially in the earlier stages of the game.
Just well on anything 1v1.
Well, that's very true, but Kayle just has no way to trade that kind of level of damage backwards.
Yeah, and I think the big thing with Ryze is it is a flex pick, as the Kayle is. If they want to put it mid, they can match it mid. If they want to put it top, they can match it top. There is that flexibility, and a bit different from the sort of perma Ryze meta we saw. You don't have the instant safety of the instant root. You also don't have as much bulkiness because you can't proc the massive shield on yourself. But the damage is there and the wave clear is there. The fact that you can...
definitely there.
Yeah, you can cut through waves, you can bounce so much easier. So Fury, if this is in his hand, should be feeling really confident. But starting to see jungler bans come out. Karthus away from Monkeys, Gragas away from PFI, moving away from a lot of the options that we saw earlier in this series.
Yeah, so Elise would be the remaining sort of typical jungler that we see out of these guys. And then we're moving on towards things like, I guess, the Olaf, Jarvan, maybe even Skarner. We'll have to see where they're going to go. And I'm curious to see where the champion pools lie here, because this is more the fringe picks. This is down to what the players prefer to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And because that's the thing is that if this was a game with Nulty, and I'd be like, this is 100% Olaf pick, but this isn't necessarily the case for these sides.
Yeah.
And it depends how much you want to invest and be able to be an option late game, because if I play Olaf into Kayle Kai'Sa, there's going to come a point where you're a punching bag. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out from the side of Diabolus in that vein. I would expect them to want to secure their jungler here and then have counter pick for... and keep the Ryze as a flex, but then potentially have counter pick for one of those lanes. And we're going to see early pressure still from PFI, so he's going for the Rek'Sai. Obviously, doesn't scale as well as something even like the Lee Sin has more late game strength on the Rek'Sai, but the early pressure is huge. You have great gank paths. You can do well in most duels. Now it comes down to what barrage you're going to respond with.
The Mundo would be an interesting lock-in here, but we'll see if that's going to be the case coming on through. But a good amount of CC coming out from both sides, more so on the side of Barrage though with that Nautilus, and now with a Jarvan locked in that bottom lane.
Yeah, Jarvan is another one of those junglers that will scale better than the Rek'Sai, but in the early levels, I expect Rek'Sai to have the edge. There is a window at level 2 where Jarvan comes out, but that is really about it. And now it comes down to what are they going to lock in. It's either mid lane or top lane. We don't know for sure right now because the Kayle can be a flex. This last pick will be sort of be telling, but it's never 100%. Even something like the Cho'Gath could be moved mid, but I expect to be Cho'Gath top, Kayle mid.
It is something that Icebreaker's played in the past as well, so would not be surprised to see that Cho'Gath going into his hands. And did go for the more tanky build rather than going for a more AP-based Cho'Gath. And then on the other side, the question is, what is Kakan going to pick up into that, or assumedly that Cho'Gath in the top lane?
I'd honestly be happy with a Gnar here. I mean, it does well into Cho'Gath because you can just cut through him, but looks like he's going in a different direction. He's going for something that's going to offer still an element of team fighting because of that ult still is useful. It's not like a Fiora, which is very much about the side lane, but it still has strength in the side lane. So if things go late against the Kayle, against the Kai'Sa, they can just go, hold on, we're going to look for the split push.
And the 1v1 can be fantastic for Kakan as well. If you can dodge away from the Rupture using that hook shot, suddenly that changes dramatically. But this mid lane is going to be really interesting. D.Va up against Fury, both of them on very heavy scaling picks, but a dramatically different style of mid lane to what we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw so much more aggression in this matchup, and now it's going to be a bit more tame, but that all depends on whether the junglers choose to get involved, because both these junglers, high aggression early junglers who could look to punish both of these picks. Ryze, who is kind of reliant on hitting 3 spells to get phase rushing, have some safety, and Kayle, who is a melee champion till level 6.
And I think when we look at the bottom lane as well, there's a lot more comfort for the side of Barrage here, especially for Fastlane. He's on a hook-based champion. That's what we've seen him really thrive on in the past. And hopefully that is going to be a difference maker for him, because on the Ornn, wasn't really able to find the success that we've seen out of him in the past, wasn't really able to land those game-changing ultimates. And when you can't on a champion like that, suddenly it feels like the pick just isn't worth it. Whereas on the Nautilus, it's something that we've seen him play before, and it's something that's very similar to the Blitzcrank that we know and love him for. Yeah,
and I think they've given themselves great tools. The scaling is strong, but they still have early pressure. I want to see Fastlegged team up with Monkeys, move around as a duo, because the amount of CC and even the base damages from a Jarvan and Nautilus is pretty significant. But again, if this game does go late, honestly, it is a bit more up in the air, but I have to say that the composition on the side of Barrage just has so much power in it. They have a better scaling jungler, they have a top lane tank who's going to be a monster, they have the Kayle, they have the Kai'Sa. Yes, there are tools on the side of Diabolus, but they may end up resorting either to outplaying their opponents or to looking for a side lane pressure from Kakan, and you know, that can be difficult to pull off.
It can be, but we've seen Camille's dominate in that top lane in the past. We literally saw Only Angel doing that earlier on this evening. We'll see if Kakan can replicate that kind of success on the Camille pick. Here we go on Summoner's Rift, though, for game number 2 of this series. Right now, Diabolus have the lead 1-0 in this best of 3. And the question will be, can Barrage answer? Or will they go silently into the night? It's time to find out as we head on into this game. And this, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a relatively slow start to this one. Looking at the scaling picks on either side, you'd expect both of these teams wanting to mostly farm up.
I mean, if we're basing off last game, it's going to be Barrage do pretty well in the early game, Diabolus come back mid-game, and then the game ends as D.Va's level 15.
Oh, Fury's already been caught, but actually the knockup from Icebreaker misses.
Oh, now they're in trouble.
That means Fury survives. Everybody's collapsing. First blood to PFI already. And Icebreaker the next target. He will walk away, but Diabolus starts strong.
It was just a lack of synergy, lack of timing between the hook from Fastlegged and the knockup from Icebreaker. We'll get a replay of that one. And, I mean, Fury... just such a great flank from Fastlegged. Honestly, this is a good play, but the Rupture was too soon from Icebreaker, and that cost him. And then instantly the flank comes down. My question is really, where is KDO? in this entire situation. If you commit to that play, take 5 members. That's all I gotta say about it.
Right, that's Orcs' final statement on the matter.
On the game,
and now
no.
on to other political news. But yeah, so as we head on towards this bottom lane, where did that kill actually go? It was PFI that managed to grab that one for himself. Already Rek'Sai with an early game advantage in terms of matchups. An extra bit of gold in his pocket is certainly going to go along.
And critically, he held his flash. Honestly, Rek'Sai flash is one of the most important in the game for those early ganks. If he had burnt it, yes, they still would have got a kill, but PFI's pressure would have been massively mitigated. But now you have D.Va flashless as a melee champion in mid lane. You have Monkiz flashless, who doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with PFI. Diabolus in a pretty great position, even though it's just been 2.5 minutes of the game.
So far, so good for the likes of Diabolus. It's 1-0 on the scoreboard in more ways than one now. And we'll see if they're going to be able to keep that advantage rolling. As we were saying, though, you don't expect this to be too crazy of an early game. Kakan running the Klepto actually got 110 gold out of a sack of gold right there. He's going to be very happy with that in the early game. Monkiz looking for an early gank there, but Icebreaker not able to land that rupture. PFI, in the meantime, will look to answer in this middle lane. Flashes for the knockup. Fury will be there with the root as well. Rune Prism doing the work, and there is a kill onto the rise. Monkiz wants to answer, misses the knockup, doesn't have his flash available. Fury, though, will be slowed by the red buff. Might just go down anyway. Oh! There's a flash forward from the fast-legged.
And Fastleg honestly saves that play. Monkiz not managing to connect the flag and drive was a massive hit, but in the end, it's Fastleg who makes up for it. And this is what you said you wanted to see. Him on a pick that can make aggressive plays early, and he does it. He roams up, and he secures the play for his team.
Fantastic stuff coming out from Fastleg. That's the player we know and love. That's the Blitzcrank style that we've been seeing out of him in previous weeks. So far, Barrage doing a decent job to at least answer some of the pressure, but most importantly, Fury getting a kill there in that mid lane is a big deal. Getting gold early on the rise is a big issue for the likes of Barrage.
I mean, look at his recall. He just straight up bought a tier, whereas on the side of D.Va, he's not really able to pick up much, if anything at all, other than that longsword. So Fury feeling pretty confident in this situation. Now PFI, potentially looking for another gank.
D.Va playing this one very, very safe. Monkiz is around. I think they smell that something's going to be going on here. Straight onto the likes of D.Va. They might just trade kills here as Fury does manage to finish that one off. Monkiz wants to trade once again, but doesn't have the damage. And PFI will get it. 2 for 0.
And it's the stronger 2v2. We said PFI is stronger, but we've seen more action here.
On an Icebreaker going toe-to-toe. Icebreaker actually flashing for this one as Kakan will get the hook shot. There's the stun, but turns it around. Icebreaker finishes it.
Grass compared with the power from the spikes coming out from Icebreaker, enough to take down Kakan. So good plays coming out from the mid-jungler Diabolus, but Kakan actually overstepping a little bit there. But as I said, Jarvan, we talked about, has the pressure advantage over the Jarvan in the early game. And Ryze, I mean, pre-Sigs, Kayle isn't a ranged champion. And you can see already how much pressure they've been able to get from those kills. Catalyst and a tier picked up for the Ryze right now. Fury is feeling great.
Fury is feeling fantastic. Knock up down in the bottom lane here. Onto Fastleg. There's a root as well. Dragged out the Heathen with a 2v2. Monkiz is here, but he's too late to the party, and KDO can't turn this into anything.
That's one of the things on Nautilus. You don't have built-in mobility. You burn that flash, and you're going to be vulnerable. Diabolus punished that one. And I mean, this is so rough for D.Va. You're still not level 6, but Fury, those items just make him so strong.
Phenomenal stuff coming out from the bottom lane here. But now Monkiz has been so aggressive on this job and getting these ganks, but PFI has arrived. And look at the level differences. Both the jungler and the mid laner are level up on their opponents.
And the item differences as well. Full warrior enchant completed for PFI. And Fury, the catalyst and the tier. I mean, that's as good as it can get for a Ryze.
Everything is feeling fantastic for Diabolus, and now Icebreaker about to feel the wrath of this. He is level 6, but will anyone get even close to low enough to eat? The answer's no.
And this is what I wanted to see from PFI, picking an early jungler and making the impact. He has been so instrumental and Diabolus to success here. Finally, though, D.Va hits level 6. He is now officially a champion. A lot of action coming around mid. PFI is here with the ultimate. That's what you got to be scared of.
Fast leg rotating towards that mid lane, but won't be able to find and engage for himself. And importantly, one of the big differences between this game and last game is it's just a Cloud Drake on the map. So where the focus lies for these junglers has been much more around the mid lane and the top lane as opposed to that bottom side of the map.
Absolutely, and more lane-oriented as well. Not just setting up to get control of the objectives. They want kills on champions. They want to snowball these matchups. Khan was solo kill, but managed to get a bit back in return when PFI went top. And I mean, this mid lane matchup is just really rough right now for the KL.
Icebreaker now getting engaged upon, doesn't have the flash, will be locked up by the Hextech ultimatum. PFI willing to commit to this? Question mark? I guess we'll have to find out in a couple of minutes' time.
To be continued comes up on the screen.
We do have a pause coming out here. But look at that scoreboard right there. PFI is running away with things in this game.
But I do feel that play top, not convinced. You know, we can talk about what we think is going to happen.
Predictions segment.
I think
they get the kill and they both get out.
I think he's going to knock the Shogat up.
Yep.
He's going to...
That's a bold prediction.
Yep. He's going to try and beat up on him. He's going to ult to try and buy time. Shogat walks under the tower, and then when he pops up at the ult, he just eats him.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that one. Subtly knock that away. Nobody saw that.
No.
Yeah, to be honest, I think he's going to go down. I don't think either of them go down.
It was really forced, because like the Hextech ultimatum would have been mild.
I think they're far enough ahead that they can just force like this.
I mean, it's a Cho'Gath. You know, he's always going to be super
down
bulky.
to like half HP during the pause there.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
That's 2/3. That's not half HP.
That's half right there. Look at that. They're going to be able to go for this one. Kakan flashes out. Ah, okay. One of them just get it.
Yeah.
It was close. It was close.
It was 2/3. That wasn't half.
I thought they got away with that. 2/3 and a half are only 16% apart, okay? That's a statement to live by.
Is it?
No.
But yeah, so big shutdown actually going over the Icebreaker there, because obviously PFI had a ton of gold in his pocket. I probably would have also paused there if I was Kakan. I'd be like, what are you doing? Why are we tower diving?
What is happening?
It's actually really bad timing for a pause when you're about to go for a play like that. But sometimes these things happen.
All right, so gold lead right now on the board is heavily in favor of Diabolus. 3,000 their way. And they're up in the series 1-0 right now. The question is, what can Barrage do to get themselves back on the scoreboard here? Because it feels like, especially in this draft, with the first pick Kale, a lot of their eggs are in that basket, in the pockets of D.Va. But so far, this pick is just not working out at all.
Yeah, and Fury just... I mean, it's a rise. It's only going to get stronger, but already feels so strong in this matchup. PFI and Fury are massively far ahead of their counterparts.
What do you do if you're on the side of Barrage? Like, Orcs, put yourself in the shoes of Fastlegged here. You're the support player, all-star support Orcs, stepping on into sub. How do you rally the troops here? What's the win condition? What do you tell everyone that you're going to do to get back in the game?
You just be like, it's new Rise, not old Rise. We can kill him in team fights.
Man.
He's killable. He's not invincible. Stall it out for a little bit. I think going for plays now is just not necessary. At the moment, Kale can like wave clear mid. You can pick up farm, it's fine. And just wait for the windows in team fights, because, I mean, Diabolus just showed topside that they can't overstep. A game is never over because it's always throwable.
Wise words there from the UK support. The game is always throwable.
That applies to both teams.
It does, certainly does. That applies to teams even at Worlds. We've seen that plenty of times, even at the highest level of play. Diabolus not looking to throw things just yet. They're going to be able to grab themselves a dragon, uncontested, and their next one to spawn will be that Infernal. Big objective for them, especially with that Rise on the squad. Increasing his damage would be absolutely massive.
And for me, that's the sort of point I would make, because I'd be like, right, that is the objective we want to fight, that Infernal Dragon. But you actually see Barrage's bot lane go for a recall, and they're heading towards the bot side, whereas Diabolus are heading straight towards the top. The one thing that is nice is that Icebreaker has priority in this lane. He also has decent vision control, so they'll know pretty early on that what Diabolus are doing. And you see how the Heathen has gone to get some ward cover, but most of all, Dragdar has to catch this wave. So it gave enough time for KDO to respond. And there's still quite a bit of vision available for the side of Barrage on that top side, so Barrage not doing too bad, despite the fact that Diabolus nearly pulled a fast one with that swap.
Well, Rift Herald is on the map now, and we'll see if Diabolus gonna look to that as an objective. Everybody moving up towards this top side, the bottom lanes of both teams here as the Fastleg, sorry, makes his way on up on the Nautilus. Monkey's waiting in the wings though, wants to make a play happen on this top side. PFI will be nearby, as will Fury.
And this is the important thing, is that they have priority mid, so Fury moves sooner. The wave's pushing in, and that means Barrage have to catch it. So Diabolus, they can take control of the river, and they're looking towards his Rift Hole, but Dragdar has to be careful.
May have stepped a little too far forward here. Monkeys wants to make the play. She's desperately trying to grab this one. Nice.
Good reaction.
Little ultimate there. Dragdar keeps himself perfectly safe.
Yeah, and that means the Herald goes off without a hit. You trade a summoner for an ultimate, you take that.
Oh, here we go. Icebreaker wanted to make a play. Ooh. And that's the power of the Camille there. So difficult to lock down.
I'm guessing the Rupture was on cooldown, but I think he should have gone for it when he was silent.
He started the fight with the Rupture, I think.
No, because it came up just after. He used it just after he got away. I think it must be on cooldown, but he opened with a feral screen.
Walking underneath the tower. That is going to be the Hextech ultimatum. The Feast doesn't quite do it, and Icebreaker lives away with that one.
The heal coming out was insane.
That was so much healing as well. That was way more than I expected from the, I assume, Triumph, or maybe it was the Grasp, I'm not even sure. Here we go though, damage onto Fastlegs. He's going to be the target. Dragdar finishes that one off, and now onto KDO. The Rune Prison is there. Fury walks away with his life. Monkeys coming on in to support D.Va. They're trying to turn it around, but PFI flashes away. Cataclysm to finish the job. It's a 1-for-1, or 2-for-1, sorry.
2-for-1, so Diabolus still coming out ahead, but they lose PFI there. D.Va Monk is able to turn that one around and didn't even need to use D.Va's ultimate. Heathen, but be a bit careful. Those tower hits were hurting towards the end of that.
D.Va wanting the 1v3 here. Stepping on up. He's just trying to delay the recalls.
Oh, the auto, it's just gone.
It's going to follow all the way to base.
That's the worst when you have home guards and it hits you and it just cancels them. And then you're trying on that point, you're like, do I wait for home guards again, or is it faster just to walk?
The best one of those animations I've seen is, this has happened to me a few times, when you ace in a hole on someone that is recalling, if you get it just right, it'll follow them through the recall, and even once they hit home, they can still be low enough HP that the ace in the hole finishes them off across the map.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
I love the one with Jinx Ult when you time it, just as they you count it down.
Or Triple Barrage, yeah.
Another play coming in. D.Va has ult but no flash.
No flash here, and PFI will be able to find that knock-up. That is a huge amount of damage onto the Heathen, and does actually trade the kill. 1-for-1 there.
PFI, a little bit greedy there, decided, I'm not going to tank the tower. My support can tank the tower, and as a result, he goes down, but they do get a kill. Dragdar going to get some more alone time with his top lane, but plating now gone down. I think did favor Diabolus because they got the Rift Hole down the mid lane to pick up a few, but Dragdar,
doesn't have any mana here. Does dodge the knock-up though, and here comes PFI. Icebreaker might just be able to eat PFI here. Feast is available. I mean, this is a Cho'Gath. You cannot underestimate it. No matter what the scoreline, no matter what the items, Cho'Gath can always turn fights.
But Fury being here, I think this is going to seal his fate.
Maybe I overstated that. Not every fight can be turned by Cho'Gath, because Fury has a ton of damage. He's going to get yet another kill for himself. Phenomenal stuff coming out from the side of Diabolus here. Now Barrage look to answer in this bottom side of the map. They're trying to get onto this turret. The Heathen and Kakan here trying to defend. Barrage have 3 members sieging onto this objective. But in the end, they decide to back away.
Much more volatile game too, though. This is more akin to that Feeling M&M series. The game 1 was much slower, so I am liking that we're seeing more aggression from both sides. Obviously, Diabolus had the advantage in the early levels, but now Final's up.
I think I cursed this one. Well, in a good way, though. Because I was coming into this one saying, you know, they're going to play it slow, farm up in the lanes, and it's been pretty much a bloodbath so far this game. So maybe I just have to say that at the start of every game. We can hope for more matchups like this.
Maybe, and do you see Diabolus? They have control, but Monk is able to get into the pit and get out again if he wants to go for a steal.
He's going to go for it. 2,000 HP on that Drake, but there's nothing he can do about that one. Taken on down. Dragdar getting the kill onto that Infernal Dragon.
Ambitious, but I understood the concept from Monk. It was a bit too high HP, and his team weren't there to really facilitate. There was no threat of an engage, so Diabolus could just all turn onto Monk. And now PFI, he's waiting for Fast-Legged.
Here we go, Fast-Legged trying to find his way back to his base, but it's just not going to be allowed here. And it was actually PFI grabbing that one with the red buff, I think. Now onto this mid lane tower as well. Diabolus starting to just tick the boxes here on the map. They grabbed themselves the Drake. They grabbed themselves the tier 1 in the mid lane, and now off towards the side lanes.
Last game, I said that Diabolus were kind of handed the opportunity to get into the game and win it, but here they have made it for themselves, and ooh, close. The only person who's like really just popping off is Icebreaker on this Cho'Gath. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but we'll have to see. And now D.Va, he has his ult. This is not a fun situation.
D.Va going to be caught out here on the Kayle, but actually keeps himself very healthy here. And PFI trying to escape, but Fast-Legged will not let that happen. Shutdown goes into the pocket of KDO. And an excellent answer here from Barrage.
And the setup was just too long. They took like 2 waves, I think it was, before they actually went for the dive. And as a result, Barrage able to react. Although Kakan in return, going to put some pressure down onto this bot lane tower. We know the win condition of Camille can always be that split push, but for now, he's going to start chipping away. Dragdar, happy to hold it mid with that ult.
Yeah, Barrage going to be very pleased to be able to grab some damage onto that mid lane tower. But here we go, Heathen and Fury want to punish their opponent.
Quickness in 5.
There is no tower here, so Fast-Legged is very far forward. Flashes over the wall. Will get himself to safety. And let's bear in mind, if Barrage can just stall out for another 50 or 60 minutes, D.Va will come online.
You're absolutely right. You know, once he hits level 16, that's a big point. But once he's full build, that's a bigger point.
Once you get to that 2-hour mark in the game, Kayle can't.
I'm just hoping he has Gathering Storm. That's my big brain play. Everyone take Gathering Storm. You wait for 60 minutes. It's freelo.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. I don't know how you're not making guides on YouTube, to be honest, mate.
I'm actually paid off by
Foxtrot and Fi. Afraid of the competition.
Yep, absolutely.
Dear me. Well, down at the bottom side of the map, Icebreaker going to be trying to clear the minions, but has he stepped too far up here? The damage from Fury is insane. Ult coming out there from PFI to finish the job here, and Icebreaker just doesn't have the damage. D.Va in the meantime gets engaged on by Kakan, but he's got monkeys available, and D.Va grabs himself a kill. Now only 48 minutes away from the power spike.
He's doing it. He's doing it. He's 2, 4, and 3, but he's getting the kills. The thing is, they did that without even using the ult from D.Va, so Kakan really had no chance, and I feel like oh, they're looking for something.
Yeah, Fast-Legged going to be the target here. The Heathen coming on in alongside PFI, but that's a ton of CC. The Fury can't really get onto the backline here. PFI trying to finish off KDO, but won't be able to do it. And D.Va has arrived on the scene, as you say, still has that ultimate available. And we'll use that just to survive. Excellently played by Barrage here.
Also pretty questionably by PFI. I remember he came out the early game like 3-1-3. He's now 7-5-5.
I mean, you can't say anything about his kill participation. He's definitely in all of these fights.
He's participating.
He's just
tell you what, PFI,
a little bit deep in a lot.
Yeah, you get the participation award for your plays recently. I mean, that dive, it was clearly he wanted to go for it, and then he was like, I regret this, and then he was like, it's too late.
Let's see if we can finish off the AD carry anyway.
Yeah. Some big items coming in. We see Triforce available for Kakan. 2 item spike for Dragdar and D.Va. 2 out of 6th. You know, a third of the way there to full build. Fury as well. Sarah's fully stacked. Rod of Ages. his damage is getting really significant.
Yeah, and memes aside, let's be honest. Once you get to sort of the 3 or 4 item mark on this Kale, you will be able to have real impact during these team fights. It's once you get to that 5 or 6 item stage, you have far more impact than most champions in the game. D.Va, though, getting a 1v1 right now by Kakan. This isn't about team fight impact. This is about a 1v1. PFI has found him and will finish off the kill. Monkeys walking away in this top lane here and will get away with his life.
Every time I'm looking at this, I'm like, Heathen quickness, and it's like 5 seconds away from being available. It's really sad. I feel bad for him. But at the end of the day, they get the kill.
I mean, I don't feel too bad for him, man. He's got a 5,000 gold lead. His team's about to get Baron for themselves. There's the quickness for him. He's just going to get gobbled alive. That was very quick indeed. Baron down so low. What just happened?
They stopped hitting it.
Smite was on cooldown and they stopped DPSing the Baron. Icebreaker is going to go down for his sins, but Monkeys grabs the objective.
I feel like going for that play when your smite is on cooldown is questionable at best.
They stopped DPS. They stopped DPS for the smite on 800 HP. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, wait, here we go. Fight here.
Fight in the mid lane. Kakan will get away with his life, but it's 1 kill onto Fastleg there, and now pushing on towards mid.
I just love seeing the fact that Dragdar has built these crit items, and he's doing 400 damage crits, and then Fury is doing his bounces, and it's just 700 damage.
All right, let's take another look at this, because I'm really confused. So the DPS stops at 800.
I think it's just a cleave. So, you know, he jumps in, they're like, we have to kill the job, and the cleave hits the Baron, and he just smites it.
Very unfortunate.
They should have turned away sooner, or they should have fully committed, and they should just burst through it and took a 50-50. Well, it would, you know, because the problem is because they went off it, they set it up perfectly for Monkeys. I think they should have just tried to burst through it and hope that they get it.
Ultimately, what happened is that they way overestimated how much the Heathen could distract. Because he went in, tried to knock up and get some CC off, but
I like that.
Literally got popped.
I like that. Blame the support.
Yeah, exactly. That, as an AD carry main, that is one of my specialities. Well, I'm more blaming, like, the general understanding of quite how much of a distraction the Heathen could be.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you didn't face check the Cho'Gath, would have been more of a distraction.
That is one of those classic blunders. Face checking the Cho'Gath. You know, he stands about 6 feet above the brush, but you still don't see him somehow.
He's surprisingly sneaky, and now Fury's trying to hammer away.
Heathen going to be coming behind this tower as well. Fury just taking a tower shot there, just to show how manly he is and how unafraid of this tower. And will be forced off here by Ice.
Fury heals so much. So he's gone Ravenous Hunter, and it's just like whenever he combos a wave, it heals him like 400 health. It's actually insane. And I feel like that might be the death of Barrage, is the 1-3-1. Not so much necessarily the team fight, because Ryze has historically always been great in a side lane, but Kakan has always been looking for D.Va.
Here we go, Kakan finding this 1v1 for himself. Ultimate available for D.Va though, and Monkeys is there to save the day. Now Fastleg wants to turn this into more. PFI knocked on up. Blast Cone will be there. Doesn't even need it though. Burrows away to safety.
Well, Kakan once again sacrifices himself so Fury can get the bot lane tower. So, all in all,
hashtag worth. And that's going to be a mid-tier 2 going down as well. And Diabolus, so far in this series, have been doing a really good job of once they have an advantage, once they have a sizable lead for themselves, just systematically working their way around the map to take towers.
Yes, but also no, because of what PFI did from his early
Yes, but actually no.
Diabolus, I agree. Specifically PFI, less so, because he did kind of int it a little bit, but at the same time, he is 10 and 5. If you ignore the process, the end result's pretty good.
Man, if I have to pick between a jungler that's 10 and 5 and a jungler that's 2 and 3, I take the 10 and 5 jungler every time.
Again, it depends. Depends on the champion.
Not for me, it does.
No, because you always get those moments where you have like a 2 and 3 Master Yi and he just like pops off.
Yeah. He just happens to turn up a little bit late for a team fight, gets the pentakill, wins the game on the spot.
Literally, yes. That has happened way too many times. Or it's like a Twitch jungle. Well, I feel like if you don't win early as Twitch jungle, like I'm gonna get heated. We need to change subject.
Orcs in a Rat IRL coming out there. Kakan misses the hook shot. Oh, Kakan. Kakan. You can't do that, mate.
I feel like for every role, we have a clear person who's been playing better. But with top lane, that's on Barrage.
Yeah, this has been an unfortunate game for Kakan so far. I mean, he's done a lot in terms of pressure, but in terms of scoreline, not so much.
Yeah, I feel like he's provided pressure inside Icebreaker's mouth after being feasted.
That was a bizarre... Like, you take that sentence out of the context of League of Legends, it's a really weird one.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at the objectives, because we have an Infernal Dragon spawning in 1 minute's time, but over on the other side of the map, we'll be visited by the giant purple worm.
This could be the moment where Kakan solos the Infernal, but actually he's going topside, so probably not. I was like, he could finally do something to make himself feel valued. But then, you know what would be even more hilarious? If Icebreaker just walked over and feasted it. This is honestly getting to the point of bullying what Monkiz and D.Va are doing, or at least trying to do, but it means they've sort of pulled pressure away from the Infernal Dragon. So they may get a lot of damage in his tower. Fury is going up to answer, and I feel like he's harder to kill than the Camille. But in return, they're just giving over the Infernal Dragon, and it's the second of the game, and when both teams scale really well, you do kind of want that. But I mean, D.Va's almost level 16, so who cares, right?
That's the thing. Ultimately, D.Va is getting fed now. He is getting those items for himself and will start to be a real terror in these team fights. PFI is over towards that bottom side, as you said, grabbing that Infernal Dragon. There isn't a tier 2 available on this bottom side for the side of Diabolus to push for. The teleport is way too late on the tower, and Fury has found himself alone. Rift, or Realm Warp, sorry, will be enough to get him
What
to
a
safety.
getaway. Manages to wait out all that CC and then gets out before Icebreaker gets there. Yes, they lose a tower, but getting the Infernal, I'm going to say worth. And now they're going to get some damage on these inhibitor towers.
That's a lot of damage as well. Dragdar is going to be melting through that one. Kakan in the bottom side of the map as well. Not quite able to finish either of those objectives. But just one more minion wave in the right timing will be enough.
Definitely low enough to fuel the threat. Can't TP down, but so is Icebreakers, and now Diabolus is trying to posture around the Baron area. Fury just going to shove that wave on top. Remember, there are side lanes. They are important. We're not NA.
He wants this fight right now, but the rest of his team does not, and he's been left alone. Will burrow himself to safety there. The land shark swims away.
Icebreaker. Oh, I thought he was going to try and go for the one shot.
Here we go. He's going to be potentially one-shot himself here. Hextech Ultimatum comes on down. Icebreaker getting a knock-up, but will be finished off himself. Fast-legged here, trying to get onto the carries. That is a huge blade caller, though. D.Va flashes to safety, but Diabolus win the fight. And
a perfect time. And Monkiz went for the flag and drag flash, and it was a bad connect on the Dragdar, but perfect timing on that Featherstorm, and now they're looking towards his Baron. It's easy pickings.
Yeah, this is going to be another neutral objective. Every single neutral objective going the way of Diabolus this game, except for the one that Monkiz stole.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You know when you start saying a sentence and then halfway through you realize that what you're saying isn't right?
Well, yes, but actually no.
Well, yes.
But now Diabolus do get their Baron, so you know all they have to do is kill the enemy jungler and the Cho'Gath, and then they feel confident to secure it. But now they're pushing up mid lane, and this tower's already low, but Cho'Gath gonna ward them off.
Oh, there's a hook coming down onto Kakan. And he will be quite tanky, actually, but that's two going down, and both kills go the way of KDO. Into the backline, Monkiz goes with the ultimate onto him. Icebreaker on the front line. We'll walk away, though, as PFI is looking for a flank. Fury's been caught, and in comes KDO with the killer instinct onto Dragdar. Walks away with his life, and it's 2 kills for D.Va. Barrage turn everything on its head.
And it's as I have always said, it's always throwable.
Barrage, I never doubted them for a second. This was what they were planning around. They gave Diabolus the Baron so they'd get overconfident.
Yes, let's run with that.
This was the win condition. Here we go.
Death times so long, they might just end.
They're looking for the inhib right now. This is a massive push coming out from them. 20 seconds on both Fury and Dragdar.
Okay.
But PFI and the Heathen are going to be enough to deter this squad.
They don't want to throw the game, you know. They're like, Diabolus, you guys, we don't do that around here. They'll let them do it. But D.Va level 17, he's feeling strong. A massive shutdown from Fury. They're in a pretty good position considering how bad the game looked 30 seconds ago. Just an overstep coming out from Diabolus. And then I felt like it was one of those situations where you say, okay, Kakan's dead, kind of blows, but, it happens. But instead, they opted to go in all in on the team fight. And I just feel like, your Camille's already 1-5. Being 1-6 isn't really going to change things. But everyone dying, losing the Baron, and giving up mid inhibitor probably does change things quite a bit.
It's how you would say pretty unlucky.
Yes, but another Infernal in a minute. And like we highlighted in the earlier series, equalizing stats.
Yeah, worth mentioning as well that KDO actually got 3,000 gold from that fight. He just picked up a BF sword and a QSS. That is a massive amount of power that just went into his inventory. He's already got his 3 items there as well alongside that. But having the QSS on top of everything else is going to be a massive thing during these team fights.
And Barrage are just not splitting up. They know anyone alone can be caught, but apes together strong.
Indeed they are. You'd know all about that, Orcs.
I certainly would. But they're just running them down.
What is happening here? Oh dear. Well, Dragdown the Heathen will walk away with their lives.
Rabadon's has been picked up for D.Va. That's a pretty big item.
It's not very often in competitive you see players just go, 2 of the enemies, just chase them.
Let's just run forwards.
Here we go, 5v5, everyone around this Infernal Drake. This is a big objective. 3rd Infernal of the game, 2 games in a row here.
30 minutes, it's time to coin flip the whole game on one fight. Let's go.
The Heathen is behind them right now. He wants a massive
Kakan's looking for it too.
Kakan is here. KDO is going to be the target, and in they go onto the back line. It's a 3rd Infernal for Diabolus, and it looks like it might be a fight as well. Fast leg's about to drop. KDO can't dish out enough damage, but in the meantime, in the back line, it's going to be a triple kill coming on through. KDO trying to walk away with his life. He just wants to distract if he can. The supers are actually pushing up in the mid lane, but the rest of the team going to recall.
Yeah, Dragdar here. I think you have to go for an execute.
I don't know if he's going to be able to. There's a knockup. There's a shutdown as well. Insult to injury.
And we can sit here and we can talk for days about the mechanics of the team fight.
And that is our job at the end of the day.
But we could also talk about how Barrage had a clear win condition. 6 items killed. They are not there yet, and that is probably why they lost that fight. Orcs out.
Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for our expert analyst here.
But realistically, it was just a great flank, put so much pressure on a KDO so he couldn't do anything in that team fight. And then Fury, because they were trying to peel backwards, they couldn't put pressure on the rise, and the AoE bounces just blew everything up.
Yeah. And just such a great setup for the fight as well from the side of Diabolus. We saw the Heathen flanking around, we saw Kakan flanking around, and suddenly Barrage realized what was happening, but it was too late. They all just group up in sort of panic, and then everything just got obliterated. As you were saying, Fury's AoE damage in that kind of situation is devastating.
Yes. We do now see some big items picked up. Rabadons for the Rise. GA for Dragdar. There's a full build Xayah right now. And they're just going straight for the inhibitors.
Yeah. I mean, what do you even do about this? Look at the damage.
They're trying to push for the
Fury
KO.
does like a 5th of the inhib health with every single auto. But he's not going to do any damage if he's dead. He's overstepped and is taken on down. In the meantime, D.Va dishing out damage across this fight. KDO's here, dishing out the damage onto PFI. Heathen now trying to step away with the rest of his team. Dragdar and Kakan still alive. That is a very nice blade caller. But D.Va is up in the top lane. He wants to end the game right now. TP going to be channeled from the likes of Kakan. Heathen engages onto Icebreaker, but D.Va wants to end the game. This might just be over. The TP was interrupted, and Barrage have done it. They play distraction, and they push us to game number 3.
It is always throwable. It is always throwable. Thank you, Fury, for highlighting my point. I've got to say, some key things came together. Fast Leg with a great hook on a Fury, which clearly didn't expect. Diva with the confidence just to go, I'm going to split, guys. You got this.
I'm out. Peace.
I'm out.
That mid laner's gone. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suboptimal is how I'm going to describe Diabolus' decision making at the end of that game.
It was so convincing as well. When they got 2 inhibitors down, they had Baron, everything was gravy. And then they're like, maybe we can just end the game. And at that moment, everything went wrong.
Oh no, Barrage.
Yeah. Unlucky, to say the least. 1-1 on the scoreboard. We're going to game 3. But first, we're going to jump into a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll find out who takes this one right after this.